Goodnight Sweetheart sold itself as a warm, nostalgic sitcom with a clever time travel twist. But beneath the cosy laughter were moments modern television would never allow to pass without controversy. Fact 1. Adultery was the core premise.
I promise to give you such a thorough scene to that for the rest of the month you'll be hard-pressed to erect as much as a satellite did.
The entire show was built on deception. Gary knowingly maintained two relationships. One woman was unaware of the other. The narrative framed this as charming. Consequences were softened by humour. Lies powered the plot weakly. Emotional harm was rarely addressed seriously. The audience was encouraged to root for Gary. Sympathy flowed toward the deceiver. The women existed in parallel ignorance. This imbalance was never resolved ethically. Comedy normalized betrayal. Rewatching changes perspective immediately. What felt cheeky now feels calculated. Consent is fundamentally missing. Agency is unevenly distributed. The show treats duplicity as fantasy. Fantasy excuses behaviour temporarily. Time travel distracts from moral weight. Modern. Audiences notice the avoidance, and once deception stops being funny, the premise collapses.
Go. I don't like it down here.
Oh, I'm so sorry. If I'd known you was coming, I'd have the painters and decorators here.
Fact 2. Female characters were denied full agency.
No, it isn't. It's your fault, Gary. It's not much fun being the only woman in England who's still suffering from the Blitz.
Both wives revolved around Gary's needs. Their inner lives were secondary. Decisions were made without their knowledge. Emotional reactions were managed for humour. Anger was temporary. Forgiveness was expected. Long-term impact was ignored. Women existed to stabilise Gary's fantasy. Their desires rarely shaped outcomes. Independence was limited by plot convenience. The show avoided female perspective. This was typical of its era. Today it feels unbalanced. Power clearly favours one character. Romantic comedy masked inequality. Rewatching reveals narrative bias. Empathy is selectively applied. Gary's struggle dominates. The women absorb consequences silently. Silence becomes storytelling shorthand. And when silence replaces agency, discomfort replaces nostalgia.
They've asked me to go and do a musical version of George Bernard Shaw's Pygmalion.
That sounds like a big hit, I don't think.
Fact 3. Nostalgia was used to excuse behaviour.
So when do we get to meet this fantastically accommodating bank manager?
Well, I'm afraid you won't be able to...
The past was portrayed as safer and simpler. Wartime London felt morally softer. Problems were aesthetic rather than structural. History became a comfort blanket. Gary escaped modern accountability. The past offered fewer consequences. Social rules felt flexible. Cheating looked romantic instead of harmful. Nostalgia softened ethical questions. The show relied on this heavily. Time travel became moral camouflage. Viewers were invited to indulge. Reality was suspended for charm. Modern eyes reject this framing. The past no longer feels innocent. Romanticizing it feels selective. History carries weight now. Escapism feels evasive. The show never interrogates this escape. Comfort replaces reflection. And when nostalgia excuses harm, fantasy begins to crack.
Bye, it was lovely. Haven't had so much fun since I fell off my bicycle.
Oh, you didn't have to be so offhand all through dinner.
Fact 4. Male midlife crisis was treated as comedy.
I now drive a BMW, live in a £250,000 home, and have...
And I'm the Queen Mother.
Gary's dissatisfaction drove the story. Restlessness was framed as relatable. His escape felt justified. Responsibility was portrayed as burden. Marriage became confinement. Youth was idealized. Desire trumped duty repeatedly. The show sympathized with this framing. Viewers were invited to laugh along. Female stability felt dull by design. Male longing was prioritized. This reflected cultural norms then. Today it reads differently. Midlife crisis feels indulgent. Self-pity replaces accountability. Consequences remain light. Emotional labor shifts to women. Gary's growth stalls intentionally. Comedy rewards avoidance. Avoidance becomes pattern. And when avoidance is rewarded, growth becomes impossible.
Well, since Yvonne started going on about babies, I haven't felt a thing south of the navel.
Fact 5. The show avoided moral resolution.
Sex machine. 3.5 times, I think that's a new record.
Goodnight Sweetheart rarely resolved its core conflict. Decisions reset weekly, consequences were delayed indefinitely, closure was postponed intentionally. This sustained comedic tension. It also avoided judgment. The show refused to choose a side. Moral ambiguity lingered comfortably. Viewers filled the gap emotionally. That worked in its time. Modern storytelling demands resolution. Avoidance now feels evasive. Ethical stakes remain unaddressed. The show circles its problem endlessly. Growth is postponed for humour. Rewatching feels frustrating. Questions pile up unanswered. Accountability never arrives. Fantasy preserves stasis. Stasis protects the premise. And when a show refuses to choose, time eventually chooses for it.
Baby browning to paint my legs with. Mind you, I don't like it. Last time I did it, half the dogs round here followed me home.
Fact 6. Lying was framed as skill.
You don't understand women very well, do you?
Doesn't seem to be a particular strength of mine.
Gary's ability to lie was treated as impressive. Deception required planning and timing. The show admired his juggling act. Close calls generated laughter. Success meant avoiding discovery. Honesty was never rewarded. Truth threatened the premise. Lies sustained the fantasy. The audience was trained to cheer escapes. Moral tension became sport. The cleverer the lie, the bigger the laugh. Consequences were narrative obstacles, not ethical ones. Rewatching flips alignment. Skill now looks manipulative. Intelligence is used to deceive. Deception becomes personality. Trust erodes invisibly. The women become puzzles to manage. Management replaces respect. And when lying is celebrated, trust becomes collateral damage.
Some passing garbage scow.
Yeah. Everyone will assume I've just climbed into a bin bag and had myself taken away by the council.
Fact 7. Power imbalance was normalized.
Wearing stockings on stage with lance and suspenders.
Well, stockings aren't much good without suspenders, Gary. They keep falling down.
Gary controlled information absolutely. Knowledge equaled power. The women were denied choice. Choice requires truth. Truth was withheld deliberately. This imbalance drove every episode. Comedy softened the asymmetry. Laughter disguised control. The show never corrected this. Authority sat with the deceiver. Emotional risk flowed one way. Rewatching exposes coercion. Consent depends on knowledge. Knowledge was rationed. The fantasy relies on ignorance. Ignorance is not neutral, it is imposed. The narrative treats it lightly. Modern viewers do not. Power dynamics dominate scenes. And once power is seen, the joke collapses.
You ever saw James Mason with 9 inches of inner tube stuffed down the inside of his Oxford band?
Fact 8. Wartime romance was sanitized.
I want a karaoke competition. Who knows where the road may lead us? Only a fool would say.
The past was painted in warm tones. Hardship looked picturesque. Romance felt pure and uncomplicated. Danger was distant. The Blitz became backdrop. Consequences were selective. Trauma was minimal. Love stories floated above reality. This sanitization enabled fantasy. Cheating felt noble by comparison. The show avoided darker truths. History became aesthetic. Modern audiences resist this gloss. Wartime suffering is understood differently now. Romance amid chaos feels complex. Sanitizing removes responsibility. The show leaned on comfort. Comfort replaced accuracy. Accuracy would disrupt charm, and when history is softened, ethics slip quietly away. Fact 9. Women absorbed emotional labour.
It's normal.
Not for me, it's not.
It's normal during pregnancy.
I wish you wouldn't use that word, Gary. It's not a word for a man to use.
Both partners managed Gary's emotions. They soothed his guilt. They stabilised his indecision. Their reactions protected him. Anger was brief, forgiveness was expected, emotional work went unpaid. The show treated this as normal. Caretaking became default. Gary's conflict took priority, their pain was secondary. Rewatching highlights imbalance. Emotional labour is visible now. The burden is unequal. Comedy normalised the load. Resolution depended on women yielding. Maintained fantasy. Fantasy required endurance. Endurance replaced agency. The narrative never rebalanced. And when endurance is demanded, the cost is hidden.
Well, didn't the doctor say anything about mood swings?
No, he didn't mention music at all.
Fact 10. The joke relied on time.
Every morning from tomorrow at 7 her time, which is 11 in the evening here, which doesn't make much difference one way or the other because I'm going to be on holiday 5 decades ago.
With your pregnant lover?
Yeah.
Time travel enabled avoidance. Consequences could be postponed. Conflicts reset across eras. Distance diluted responsibility. Time became an escape hatch. The premise rewarded delay. Decisions lost urgency. Accountability drifted. The show thrived on postponement. Modern audiences expect reckoning. Delay now reads as evasion. The mechanism feels transparent. Time travel masks choice. Choice is deferred endlessly. Rewatching exposes the trick. The joke depends on stalling. Stalling protects the premise. Protection blocks growth. Growth would end the story. The show chose stasis over resolution. And when time stops consequences, patience runs out.
And I'm feeling much better.
Oh.
But we can't. The taxi will be here in 10 minutes.
Well, no, I'm in 10 minutes.
See when I get home.
Fact 11. Male fantasy was rewarded.
Ron, great news. You've got me out. No, me and Phoebe are getting married.
Gary's desires drove every outcome. His dissatisfaction was treated as reasonable. Wanting more was framed as natural. Responsibility felt optional. The show aligned viewers with his wants. Fulfillment mattered more than fairness. Consequences bent around him. Fantasy replaced accountability. Rewatching exposes indulgence. Male escape is normalized. Female compromise is expected. The imbalance feels deliberate. Comedy cushions self-interest. Desire outruns duty repeatedly. Growth is postponed for comfort. The narrative rewards avoidance. Longing is validated, impact is minimized, sympathy flows upward, and when fantasy is rewarded, realism never stands a chance.
Have you met my dad? This is my dad, George. This is my friend, Ron.
Hi.
He's staying here at the moment because of severe marital aggravation.
Thank you, old and trusted friend.
Fact 12. Consent was structurally impossible.
Well, let's put our things away and take Gran for a drink.
Oh, what a good idea. Listen, I'll show you up to your room, Phoebe. Your room is down the road.
Consent requires information. Information was withheld by design. The premise depended on ignorance. Ignorance removed choice. Choice defined consent. The women could not consent fully. Comedy ignored this gap. Silence filled the ethical hole. Rewatching makes it stark. Knowledge equals agency. Agency was denied. The show never acknowledged this. Laughter replaced discussion. Structural imbalance persisted. Ethics were postponed. The joke survived on omission. Omission protected the fantasy. Fantasy erased responsibility. Modern viewers see the structure clearly. The structure feels uncomfortable. And once consent collapses, charm follows it.
You'll be staying with Mr. Clary.
Oh.
Oh, it's all right. Mr. Clary's the scoutmaster.
Fact 13. The ending couldn't fix it.
Who are you talking to?
How did you get here?
Reg saw you catching a taxi. I was worried. Why here of all places?
I don't know.
Final episodes attempted resolution. Choices were finally forced. Emotional weight increased suddenly. Closure arrived late. The damage was already done. Years of avoidance accumulated. Solutions felt rushed. Consequences felt symbolic. The show tried to reconcile fantasy with reality. That reconciliation strained credibility. Viewers were divided. Some welcomed closure, others questioned sincerity. The ending couldn't rewrite patterns. Earlier harm lingered. Accountability arrived too late. Growth felt compressed. The premise resisted repair. Repair conflicted with nostalgia. Nostalgia softened judgment. And when endings arrive late, they rarely satisfy fully.
I don't want to be on my own anymore, Gary. I want us all to be together, like a proper family.
Me too. Come here, you.
Fact 14. Audience alignment shifted over time.
Who would think that in 2 days' time you'll be a local hero?
What are you smirking at, pal?
Original audiences laughed easily. Cultural context carried the joke. Modern audiences bring different values. Sympathy shifts immediately. Identification moves away from Gary. Focus lands on the women. What was once invisible becomes central. Laughter becomes uneasy. The premise feels exposed. Alignment changes meaning. The show didn't change. Viewers did. Time reframed intent. Intent mattered less than impact. Rewatching becomes reevaluation. Nostalgia meets critique. Comfort meets discomfort. The same scenes read differently. Meaning transforms without edits. Reception rewrites legacy. And when audiences change, shows are judged anew.
You're looking for something to run under the cold tap?
No, actually, I was looking to buy you a drink.
Fact 15. Time travel hid the problem.
Oh my God.
The gimmick distracted from ethics. Cleverness replaced scrutiny. Mechanics overshadowed meaning. Time travel felt playful. Playfulness softened judgment. The trick worked brilliantly once. Rewatching removes novelty. The mechanism becomes transparent. The problem stands alone. Without novelty, ethics dominate. The show relied on the trick. When the trick fades, so does protection. What remains is behaviour. Behaviour feels dated. Dated feels unacceptable. The premise can't be separated. Time travel can't defend it anymore. The fantasy collapses under inspection. Inspection is unavoidable now. And when the trick stops working, the truth takes centre stage.